start. They want the Gorge to show up right over there, ladies and gentlemen. This is going to be our game 3 of today. On the blue side, you're going to have Team Vitality, and on the red side, you're going to have ALPHA7 ESPORT.
Yeah, I just love that new aerial view we're getting of the Gorge as well right now. I mean, it just shows you the true beauty of the Gorge onto the game, and you can experience it by playing Honor of Kings at home. But we are going to get into game number 1 here. Team Vitality against ALPHA7. This is all trying to put their best foot forward and getting into the upper bracket.
And it seems like CR7 and ALPHA7 is really just trying to look for these mid-lane early start to really fasten up the tempo, make sure that early avoids the tough laning phase that we talked about against Zan's Direnjie.
It is going to be important just for that early to get online quickly. Just get that early into 4 just immediately, as fast as possible, and probably the game is going to start flowing.
Yeah, onto 4, onto getting that Doomsday. Obviously, we know that the power spike for Ali in the early game is getting that important item, the Doomsday, right?
Of course.
So exactly, when you talk about getting that Doomsday, and how do you get that? You get gold. With this rotation, they're sending Ali towards the top side, securing the priority, and then giving the river sprite immediately, using this dimensional portal to teleport back to the mid lane, and then what? Take the mid wave again.
But what about that? Like Doomsday plus a pair of boots, how much money is that? Are we talking about good 2,500, 3,000 gold?
About 3,000 gold.
It's about 3,000 gold.
Yeah. I'm no mathematic, but I believe it would be around about that number if I was a betting man. So we'll go for that figure. But like you said there, good rotation. It does mean that they're not going to suffer to the hands of obviously Zan's Direnjie in the early game. Again, because obviously the hybrid damage, hard to really block with this Paracel from the side of ALPHA7.
Exactly. When you talk about all these lanings, Direnjie is a laning monster here, but if you avoid the laning just like CR7 did and ALPHA7 did, you give him so much space to scale towards the mid game. Like you mentioned, Doomsday up, that's when CR7 button goes.
So that means that for everyone looking at home, like you do not need to just stay there on your lane. It doesn't mean that because they said that there's a laning stage, you need to go through that one. You can just immediately just make a different decision and just be a little bit more free and mobile.
Exactly, right. I mean, right here we see Tufts and Niap go 1-to-1 here. Is going to come in top for the side of ALPHA7. Forcing the flash here of Team Vitality. Gets out with a lick of life.
Amazing from Niap, just forcing that flash. That flash is not going to be available, and that's going to allow that fatigue to get bigger and bigger.
And we talked about this, right? Both these clash lanes, they are the core playmakers of both teams. Tufts on the Dharma here. You want to look for these multi-man knockups. While the side of Niap, you want to look for these backline engages and instantly melting any backline you see. So these two clash lanes from both these two teams, they have the same mission. Just it comes down to execution.
Look at that. They might just be able to jump in. They want to come and try to take that, but they're just going to have to clean the wave and move back.
Yeah, exhausting a lot of skills here just to try and get that priority into the mid lane. You can kind of see the efforts here of Team Vitality. But right now, obviously, in terms of the gold lead, both of these teams are playing it very fine to the line. The stun does come through here, AoE from Neil on the Q1.
Well, a bit of a touchy touch here and there, nothing too crazy going on as we mentioned here. I think both teams are playing a very safe early game for this 4th minute mark because it's still game 1.
They have to. They have to play it a little bit safe. If you make a gamble right now and you do not take the win, you lose that 4-minute Tyrant fight that is coming in 30 seconds.
Yeah, 30 seconds time could be the crucial moment for that all-important team fight that we keep going on here. Obviously, we can see that John Q is with both of the buffs. He does have the XP lead as well for now. A little bit of action going down into the bot side of the map. A7 Fury uses that just unstoppableness of the side of the Lady Gem, but it's not going to be enough to pause the damage from Team Vitality.
First blood is going to go to Zan right over there. He's going to take an advantage, and he's going to start setting up his team.
Okay, we were looking at Tufts like, why would you ulti the Flowborn here? And we thought about it, it was like, was it troll? Was it a misclick? No! He stopped him from teleporting to this mid laner, and immediately, the bunch of Vitality ganked him and got the kill. And right now, Tyrant here has been spawned.
Tyrant spawned. Again, big effort here from ALPHA7, able to clean up very quickly. So no contention here from the side of Team Vitality. They're going to need this one because obviously they're already down 1 kill.
Their rotation just put them right over there, and they were decisive. They just said, we need to stop this bleeding right now, and they just took that Tyrant to do that.
Okay, John, he's going down as well. A bit of a fight on 2 fronts here. We see that 19 taking a lot of damage, but Bilal is going to be taken down by John Q. Thanks to that execute of the ultimate. And CR7 is like, buddy, I tried to save you, but it just wasn't good enough.
We're talking about the mechanics of that fade right over there, and that is exactly what we're seeing. Like, you thought that he was going to run away, but the execute at the end took his life away.
Took his life away. And speaking of taking things away, it's going to be ALPHA7 taking away the enemy's Azure Golem. So already putting a bit of a stop to John Q here.
a bit of back and forth from both teams here, right? You see some kills running back and forth, and then on the other side, it's not over. They come for the objectives, which is the buffs. It's not just a Tyrant. Buffs are objectives as well. What else is an objective? Towers as well. That's why the gameplay revolves around fighting around objectives. That's how you cement a goal lead.
I know that what you mentioned in there is just like Tyrants, buffs. It's a matter of just understanding the times of the spawns over there in the whole map, right?
Yeah.
Like just knowing, having a timer in there as we move into the clash. Look at that.
Yeah, speaking of timers, we do see the ultimate timer coming through here for Tufts. Is it going to be enough to lock down? It's ALPHA7. CR7 gets taken down once again, thanks to John Q on this fade. This rework has been so crazy. You are no longer slowed, you are stopped in your tracks.
It is such a cool mechanic, man. I love that hero.
I love it. Fate is literally all around the map. Zankyu is monstrous on this pick. 1 second he was top lane executing CR7 on the early. The next moment he was mid lane taking down the tower. He's everywhere.
He's here, there, and everywhere. I mean, he's on the walls as well, right? So you're not too sure where he's going to be. And when he's on the wall, Fade actually gets a ranged attack as well.
Yes.
So if you're thinking about playing him, you also get the close quarter combat kind of Fade if you're on the wall. But when you're on the wall, you can just throw your blades from a very safe distance.
So it can be just like in completely different ways depending on the terrain that you're playing in.
Exactly, yes. So if you're on the floor, you're going to be close. If you're on the wall, you're going to be attacking from a range. And right here, 19 is just trying to get a feel out for the side of ALPHA7, doing a bit of a phase check here. Tufts needs to get out of that brush.
Ooh. Look at the setup here. A big fight is about to open up here at this Crimson Golem. As both teams here, they want to make this a breaking point for their team fight.
A
3
breaking point
seconds
the
for that. They might want to just keep a timer. They just want to come in and check. I think that it's just a matter of just having the vision, just to never lose track of the times that this is going to spawn.
Yeah, I mean, this is what we're talking about as well in terms of objective. For those new players and thinking of starting here as well, obviously, if you do take your enemy's objective, you also do get the time down on the minimap as well, so that is good intel.
And talking about good intel, we talk about the gold chart, right? When we talk about gold chart, we talk about key players here. Both teams funneling the gold to the correct players. On Vitality, you want Zankyu to be fed.
Yeah.
On the side of ALPHA7, you want CR7 to be fed, because both these picks, they have their own tempo here. If this Zankyu pick on the Fade does not scale over this early, it's going to be tough in the early game.
Very tough in the early game. And I mean, right now, it's looking tough for the side of ALPHA7, right? They have no real estate taken on the side of Team Vitality. However, Team Vitality have taken all those T1s, so they already have a little bit more of a banquet here. We use the Unending Sorrow. Neil is able to get out scot-free, so CR7 trying to look for some kills.
So when we analyze already the item board, Sagi, it already CR7's moment to try to be a little bit more aggressive.
That's correct. I've already finished both these two items here, but this next breakpoint will be the Eternity Blade that buffs up this crit damage coming in from this early here. So one more thing to note, look at Yuhuan on the side of Vitality here. He has a Venomous Staff, but hang on a minute over there.
Hang on, Danny's looking pretty low. He gets a stun. It is going to be Fade. Execution can be once more. He loves the side of Jade. He gets the Crystal Smash.
Well, good catch here, but let's jump back to the topic, right? What is the Venomous Staff use? You have Diadea, you have Nia, high healing. So Venomous Staff reduces that healing. It's a very important item.
Very important item, especially when you got a lot of healing, especially from the likes of the Hue-1 as well, right? They definitely need some anti-heal coming through from the side of ALPHA7. But again, another fight into the Crimson Golem. I mean, we've been seeing teams make this mistake. Niap is going to be the next victim. Double kill for John Q.
John Q right now is becoming a beast. He is unstoppable. He's taking kills left and right. A double kill in this one. And right now it's looking very, very, very green for ALPHA7.
Ooh, ALPHA7's core player dropped to Vitality Zankyu here. This last pick Fate here, I gotta tell you, is making wonders for the side of Vitality.
Exactly. I mean, when you're going to be drafting something like the Fade, you really want it to be towards the latter part of the draft as well, right? Because you then don't get the counter privilege onto the side of the enemy team. So that's exactly what's going wrong here for the side of ALPHA7, and always fighting for that Crimson buff rather than saying, hey guys, yes, we let it go. We can't quite get to that.
I'm telling you, man, when you analyze that replay, that Fate, he goes, as you just mentioned, from wall to wall to wall, jumping around, just being able to deal the damage, and then completely annihilating the whole ALPHA7.
That's the thing about Fate. Fate, this hero, so much mobility, and they execute. That's why if you're playing early and you're playing the cryptical build, you're going to be vulnerable to these assassinations here. So that's ALPHA7's primary point to really tackle this. They have to protect their early.
We're hitting the 10 minutes mark, and the Shadow Overlord and the Shadow Tyrant are going to be online, Lamb.
Going to be online. I mean, if you're looking at obviously itemization as well here, we do see that obviously we get in a little bit of defense here from the D-Ranger, but hold that flow. We are getting a bit of a fight. Fury goes down already, so a lot of CC, a lot of damage taken off the side of ALPHA7. We see Niam pays it back. Tufts gets taken down. Already a 4-1 trade. CR7 is not looking so. He is out scot-free for now.
This is what I'm talking about, right? Tufts, as we mentioned, whoever's clash lane gets to engage first will nail the game for their team. And who got the engage? Tufts, although he fell down. No problem. He got crucial engage there, and immediately, the bunch of Vitality immediately emerges victorious in the team fight.
I'm thinking that Vitality might want just to seal the deal before the 15-minute mark. And look at that. It's already 11 minutes. They've already got the mid path completely open for the super minions.
Yeah, it's exactly, I mean, it's very surgical here for the side of Team Vitality, right? They were able to, obviously, every team fight, they get something more. But speaking of team fights, we get another one come through here. 19 already started a great engage, but he does get taken down. It's going to be a fight, a turnaround here for Team Vitality as they take down 3. And then JQ is looking here, and it is going to be a team wipe.
It is a wipe, it is an ace, and right now they're parading to the high ground.
Going into the high ground with only 2 singular ducklings, and that is the minions, and that is going to be game number 1. 15 kills to 3 is Team Vitality.
Super clean execution coming in from the Vitality bunch. The follow-up engage thanks to 19's Lian Po was just immaculate.